Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television. We'll now see the first of a two-part segment on same-sex marriage action held in Chicago on Valentine's Day.
This is the story of two protests, one indoors and another outdoors, both held on the same day and at the same time, just a block from one another, and both dedicated to the same cause. On Valentine's Day 2009, hundreds of LGBT rights activists protested at Chicago City Hall and at the Marriage License Bureau in Chicago to advocate for same-sex marriage rights in Illinois. Meanwhile, 7 activists engaged in a civil disobedience sit-in within the Bureau itself when same-sex couples tried to get a marriage license and were declined. And my attempts to record one of them just as they were about to start were, stymied.
Sir, I'm sorry, we can't film in here.
I can't? Is there a problem?
Yeah, you can't film in here.
Okay.
It's a government office, and we just don't allow it.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Could you actually exit that way?
Sure. That didn't stop me from trying to get audio of the sit-in for as long as I could.
Equal marriage now! Equal marriage now! Equal marriage now!
Okay, so that didn't work either. So I went outside and followed the actions that were going on right outside.
Citizens of Chicago, I have a confession to make. I'm straight. Shock, terror, confusion, I know. I've been there too. As the media director for Join the Impact Chicago, people are always asking me, why do I volunteer so many sleepless nights? Why do I volunteer a big chunk of my ulcer to this struggle that doesn't directly affect me? And I always give the same answer. Because I believe very strongly that everybody deserves equal rights. Woo. Right! Marriage is not a privilege. It's one of the core rights of American citizenship. If my friend Karine wants to marry another chick and live in what I can only assume will be an estrogen-filled house of crazy, it's her right to walk that plank. If my friend Nick wants to marry another dude, well, I know for sure that this is one wedding where my bridesmaid dress will be fabulous. But right now, they don't have that right, and I do. I wish I could give it to them more than anything, but I can't. So instead, I'm just going to give up my right. I pledge right now, as a straight ally, to not get married until every single one of you has that same exact right. And I ask all other straight allies out there to join in my pledge by going to our website, jointheimpactchicago.com, signing up with your name and zip code.
But I'd like people to know, if they don't know already, we already have people inside who have infiltrated into the Marriage License Bureau who are right now sitting in for our equal rights. We'll be giving you their names later, any of you in the press who want to know, but we have several people who are sitting in demanding our legal equality, as is their right and our right. Now, it's particularly important that we're doing what we're doing today because we know that on March 5th, the California court is going to begin hearing oral arguments about whether or not to junk Proposition 8. And we know from past history that the courts often do respond to public pressure, and that's why we're out here today, because we need to up the
I'm Alejandro Molina, and you're watching Chicago Independent Television.
I see the soul of a nation, must be true, 'cause I've seen it on TV.
I am a soldier who survived the fear of facing Uncle Sam and saying, "Sir, no, sir. I won't fight for lies. Forgive me, wounded soldier, for not being there to ease your pain. I'll try on this end to bring you home now."